As you get to the end, the tension disappears. The older kids clap for a bit, keeping their dignity intact, while the younger ones start to laugh and argue loudly about the best part of your tale. For some reason, two of the girls start to wrestle, pretending to be two of the characters that you just portrayed. Seeing this, the adults decide to intervene. Stand up, and the children do the same to show their respect. The girl that previously talked with you thanks you for your time. Nod to her and walk away slowly. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm so tired. You're in front of the 8 Bale Inn. And I need to sleep. And I'm hungry. So, yeah, we gotta pay rent. Is it too late to ask the kids for a tip? The sound of rain wakes you up briefly. Before you return to sleep, you think about your plans. Riding in the mud is difficult. Magenta will have a rough time, especially on the unpaved grounds. It'd be a good day to take a break at the inn. Damn. It would, but I need to get back to... what's his face? The scavenger. That might be a problem. Like most people, you wake in the middle of almost every night. Before your second sleep comes, you spend an hour or two taking care of your belongings, shell and soul. Some people spend this time with their friends, family, or lovers. But your routine is different. If you don't have to take care of essential tasks, stretch my muscles, work out a bit, spend some time outside observing stars and listening to the wild creatures. Check on Magenta. It's a good time to brush it and make sure it has everything it needs. It's the best time to pray and think about my dreams. I just stay where I am, trying to ease my soul to focus on breathing. I feel anxious during this time. I guess I would work out. That's part of taking care of your shell. Spend the night in peace. A clean bed with a tidy shut window and a warm blanket. In the morning, you find a stool placed by your bed, covered with fried, breaded mushrooms or gravy, a slice of bread with butter and cheese, and chamomile tisane. Once you get dressed and go downstairs, a young boy who's covered in mud and speaks unusually loud and enthusiastically mentions that Magenta has already been brushed and watered. You nod, but he runs outside without noticing it. Well, it's a good thing, so I didn't do anything with it yesterday. The innkeeper is sitting near the door, from time to time carrying out another bowl with either stew or gruel. Tice is nowhere to be seen. Well, I'm not necessarily looking for the mayor. $15. Let me leave, huh? Leave the square. Oh, I can't travel, okay. We're wandering through the village, young couples holding hands as they wish you a great day. A young man is hanging laundry, humming a melody you've never heard before. Alright. I'm sorry, Magenta, but we gotta get going. Wow. Okay. I'm on the verge of death. How do I fix that? Rest. Spend the entire day taking care of smaller chores and allowing your shell and soul to rest. Damn. I guess I'll eat a ration. It's the entire day, though. I'm too tired to offer my services to guards. If only I had another coin. I guess I can give potion to the trader. Alright, I'll probably do that. And I'll go get that potion for myself. Alright. Sure he's not around. I sit at a table and wait for him. You hear Kokoy's voice. You had to say me? Just a minute. I usually start a bit later. The man walks by you and goes behind the counter where he starts to unpack and inspect his wares. Speak whilst I'm young. You're the one who starts later. Yeah, about the potion. Did you get it? I have these small flasks. They should do the job. And you saying these heal as well? They're small. Can they be too powerful, can they? He weighs a bottle in his hand. If you want me to pay you, give me 2. I only have 1. It's not enough for you? I'll think about it. How about some useful herbs or ointments? Do you have druids around here? You do have druids around here. Well, they happen. Sparse supplies. Puts a finger to his lips, giving it a slight bite. The druids are better at casting healing than making balms. It used to be different, but magic's stronger regardless. Before you can change the topic, he points northeast. Tried by White Marshes. There's what's-his-face, a warlock there, who used to take lessons at our village from the old archdruid. If anyone around here knows his way around leaves, 'tis him. That's great. Listen, please just buy something for me. Really sucks. Nothing for now, I guess. I don't have much choice. Been a relaxing day, but free of boredom. You spent almost an hour taking care of your mount, but at least it's now clean and cheerful. You patch holes in your bundles to the soothing sounds of a late summer drizzle. At one point, a group of traders from a different village showed up, too busy to engage in small talk. It's getting darker, and not much colder. More than a dozen locals are gathered at or by the tables, playing dice or other games, drinking, eating supper, or simply chatting. The innkeeper is standing behind his counter, filling mugs with beer or buttermilk, while his daughter is cleaning the tables with a weft cloth and carrying around a bucket of stream water. Tice is nowhere to be seen. The trader is packing his goods, though with no rush. He's talking with a man who's doing sacks on a nearby stool. I guess I'll talk to Eric's. See if anything's new. Okay, nothing's new. Could eat some rations. I only have 1 left. Should I leave in the square? Okay, there's nothing out here. I guess I'll go to sleep. Can't afford rent. It's a calm, warm night. As your first sleep ends, you stretch out and prepare yourself for an active hour or two. It's time to take care of some things that must be done at least once every few days, though they are a bit more challenging than your nightly routine. It's time for my training. Practice cuts, stances, dodges, and steps, but also inspect every blade I own. Which I guess is two if you count the claw. It's warm here, but the Morphlon skin allows your back to rest a bit. We wake a couple of times during the night, the smell of the cooked stew fuels your hunger, and the staff returns to the room every hour or so to stir the pot. Wake up early, but leave the building to check up Magenta and give it water from the creek. The innkeeper is sitting near a door from time to time, carrying out another bowl with either stew or gruel. Thais is nowhere to be seen. Well, better leave before that scavenger ends up dead. I'm too tired to offer my services? I can't rest for any longer. To the ruins. See if the fish trap had any luck. Aha! You pull the rope and see two flopping fish inside. Prepare your axe, then open the lid and reach for your catch. You stun the animals one by one with 2 careful blows in the top of their heads, then finish them off with a knife, cutting underneath the gill plates. You spend another minute or two bleeding out the fish in the stream, then cover them with the waxed linen sheet. You should eat them soon, before they spoil. First, wash myself. I can't get cleaner? Damn. Well. Could be bartered for food or sold. It won't restore health while sleeping or resting. Can I eat it? How do I eat it? I guess you'd have to cook it, right? It's raw. Alright, to the scavenger's camp. The entrance to the scavenger's hideout was open. You see scraps of metal organized in piles, while the old furniture has been dismantled to loose planks and pushed into corners. Hey, Roadster! Alright, well, I'm still too tired to take you. So here's what I'll do. I'll give you some food. In the meantime, probably set the fish trap again. You need to look for worms again, but at least sealing the lid takes only a moment. Okay. I guess in the meantime, I'll go back here. Right through the open gate to carefully dismount. Some of the locals greet you politely, but to keep their distance. Your clothes torn and worn and make you look like a vagabond. What are you gonna do? I head to the stables. Stable shows up. Soon after you step away from Magenta, his lips are thin and he gives a longing glance toward the bridge. I don't. I'm broke, man. Scowls at you, but points an empty bucket, steps away. Alright, fill the trough of water from the creek, make sure Magenta is comfortable. We can try to rest, but we're hungry. Instead, let's go to main square. See if they want any fish. Gonna go to Eric's or Kakios, but Eric's probably have more use for this. Caught some nice fish. Would you like to barter for a food ration? He raises a fish to sniff it and holds his beard back, keeping it clean. Name any fish in our creek. I'll put them in a soup. I'll bake them for a sauce. How many do you have? I'll give you a healthy meal for each one. 2. You sold 2 fish for food rations. Now I have 0 fish left. He takes your fish inside, making quite a bit of noise once there. When he returns, holding 2 small packages wrapped in wax cloth, which should be somewhat waterproof. Okay. 2 rations. That's something. Thanks. I can't rest now. Looks like it's too late to rest. Which sucks, because I have the rations now. I guess I can travel. See what there is. Up north. The road is beaten and free of litter. You notice paths between the fruit-bearing trees on your right, and soon after that you ride alongside the vast fields of broad beans, almost ready for the second harvest of the summer. Then there are the green hemp plants, taller than you are, waiting for a scythe or sickle. Locals keep the beasts at a distance, I guess. Magenta's hooves thud loudly on the beaten track. The green brushes, shrubs, and trees prove that the soil here is fertile, yet the plants don't overgrow the road. These crossroads must be busy at times, maybe even patrolled. In the distant west, you see the mountains peaks dividing the lowlands from the ocean. The road east leads toward the hills, behind which there are unusually tall, dark trees. There's a dense forest in the north, from which you hear the croaking of toads. The last path is already known to you. It's surrounded by 4 signposts, all of which seem to be made from the same type of wood, now covered in moss and fungi. Yet the pictures and letters that cover the nail boards are nothing alike. Well, better read the signposts. Western signpost. It has 2 planks attached to a single post, both of them nailed with rusty steel, so it's been a while. The lower sign is divided in 2 halves. The left edge is engraved with 4 simple shapes, squares with roof-like lines hanging above them. I'm guessing that's a village. The other edge bears 2 engraved piles, one of them made of horizontal rectangles, and the other of inexact circles. I recognize the letters between those 2 piles. The upper plank is covered with 2 short words drawn in white paint, and right up below them an engraved vertical rectangle with an hourglass inside it. Hourglass? Well, I have no idea what that means. I mean, I came from that way, I think. Right, this way? Okay, what about the eastern signpost? Just this one. The long plank attached with rusted iron nails is almost empty. There's no words, only a single picture painted with great care. It portrays a city-like gate, the watchtower to its left and right, and a couple of small conifers growing beside and partially behind the towers. Okay, so that leads to somewhere with civilization. Okay, the northern signpost. It's attached with nails made of pointy carved bones and divided into 3 sections covered with small engravings. Bone nails, huh? The part on the left has 3 large squares with roof-like lines hanging above them. No other pictures or words. One in the middle has only 1 square, but also a simple horizontal symbol of a fish and a short word beneath it which you don't recognize. The image on the right has 2 roofed squares, but also 2 other images which you recognize easily, a deer and a standing barrel. That doesn't help. Okay. Okay, the southern signpost. It's covered with green, blue, and white paint that portrays simple squares of roof-like lines hanging above them. Each square has a large letter inside it, though you don't recognize them. Nevertheless, the pictures are not too old. There are no other words or marks. The plank was attached with a set of wooden wedges. Okay, so I think this western signpost leads west. We didn't come from the west. We came from here, which is the south. Let's search the area, I guess. Looks like there's some stools. The thicket doesn't help. You notice the remains of berries and pears, but most of them are already rotting. Spread close to the wooden stools at the side of the road, the nearby creek is not impressively deep. But the beaver dam, for some reason, taller than you are, makes it wide and waters the surrounding soil. A few steps away from the southern signpost, you find something sticking out of a shrub. It's a moist plank covered by fungi. You try to move it with a stick in a gloved hand. After a minute or so, you confirm it's an abandoned sign covered with green letters and colorful pictures of flowers and trees. Okay, let's figure out where this was. The side of the signpost is the only one with holes left by nails. That's where we came from. What does the destroying sign say again? It's covered with green letters and colorful pictures of flowers and trees, now blending in with mold. As far as you can tell, it used to be attached to the southern signpost. If you look at the southern signpost, so this is probably the old sign and it got replaced. Yeah, it looks like somehow this got destroyed and they replaced it. I didn't pick it up, did I? Yeah, it's covered in moss. Probably wouldn't want to. Can I search the area more? Another few minutes of disturbing the local fauna. You're sure there's nothing more here to be found. Okay. What time is it? Still got time to spare. Let's try going east. I think that's civilization, right? There were some watchtowers. The corridor of leaves and gray rocks leads you to a gate, large enough for a wagon, held together by a wooden bar. The planks and rocks are covered with claw marks left by various monsters, but they weren't able to damage the wall as much as the passage of time and the piercing rains. A large man, covered in shadows, is observing you from the roof tower. His voice is hoarse, distrustful. You lost? I don't know you, mug. Alright, so what are our options? I introduce myself. Good to get to know each other. Better remember this mug, friend. It's going to stay around for a while. That's not funny. I guess it would be playful, but I don't know. I'm Leto, the new Roadwarden. You're the gatekeeper, I'm assuming? That's probably the best. I'm a Roadwarden, let me ride through, I only ask once. Explain who I am. I'm not looking for trouble, stranger. Can you open the gate for me? No, I'll just let him know I'm the Roadwarden. That should be enough. Well, yeah. Just on duty and armed, so you know. He lifts a loaded crossbow and sticks it out of the shadow. But I'm no enemy of yours. He leaves the tower. He's wearing a black gambeson, so ragged it can't be fastened anymore. Tells a story of claws, thorns, and improvised repairs. The hole in the man's hem pants reveals a scraped knee. It's hard to tell his age through his exhausted, sleepy eyes, a short, unkempt beard, and a bandage horizontally covering his ears and the spot that used to be his nose. There's clotted blood in his brown hair and mud on his clothes and brown neck. Despite all this, he's a huge cell with wide shoulders and thick legs. He straightens up. So, Warden, you're new to the job? Let's just say new here. But I know what I'm doing. No pass would prepare you for this shit place. Nights are all ape piss and blood. Just before sunrise, a bird tried to pluck my eye. This gate here, he kicks a brick with his heel. It's older than me. All there? He points behind them with his weapon. Wild and beasts. My tribe built this place to keep them away from us, and us from them. Scratches the bandage on his cheek. Name's Quintus, from Old Pagos. Been there? Not yet, but I've heard of it. So you don't know. It's west from here, behind the crossroads, but it's touched by sickness. We used to send one soul here every morning, and escort them back before nightfall. Some days ago, no one came for me. I spent the night here, sneaking wolf shits almost got me. Picks up an almost empty water skin from behind a parapet and takes a sip. Went home by myself when I learned about the sick. I've been here ever since. So some kind of plague. Yeah. Anything you could tell me about it? Not much. It kills, that's all there is to know. My tribe's smart, locking the gate. The riot gave them strength. Well, at least you're people of the church. Shouldn't you look for a real shelter? He trembles, his eyes widen. Someone has got to stay at the gate. The villages in the east don't know about the illness. They may try crossing the woods, hit the closed gate, while fleeing some wolves and stuff. He rubs his dirty neck. I also can't leave the gate open. It's like a dam for monsters. If all I can do is choose the way I die, this is it. It's my duty fulfilled. Guess that's noble. Could at least spend the nighttime in one of the villages. He adjusts his jacket by shaking his shoulders, making the buckle jingle. I'm not a beggar, and the villages to the north won't help me for more than a day or two. I've got no dragon bones, just this little ibex. Pats his crossbow. Old Pagos is by itself. We don't look for kind folks. Thinks for a moment. I'll just wait. I'll get back home once the plague's done. Before winter. You look at his disfigured face. He's either mad or dumb. Maybe a little too proud. But knows more than the locals than I do. That's true. Glances at Magenta. You understand, I'm sure. Wardens are souls of duty. That's one way to look at it. Surprised you survived for this long. Well, you can't call it surviving. I call it potions. His chuckle makes him wince in pain. He puts a hand on his stomach and leans away. Beasts took me for easy prey. But the good monks from the mountains equipped our guards well. They're helping our ill, but used to brew all sorts of stuff. His hands move to his earthenware bottle by his belt. Okay, so you have potions on hand. Well, about this gate. Here, see? He points at the long, twisted rope that hangs from an iron hook. I could climb down and remove the beam on the other side. You'll take down yours. You need at least 3 hours to get through the woods. He touches his stomach and takes a deep breath. But I need you to give me out first. What do you mean? What do you want? I'm hungry. Bring me some rations, maybe. Dried meat, apples, nuts, maybe. He sizes you up 6 meals. Then I'll help you with the gate. 6 meals? I have 1. I have 2. And 1 dragon coin. That's all I have. Won't you have time to hunt? Time? I've got to stay to the gate. I can't keep people waiting here while I track deer. Touches the bandage on his face. And if I die, there'll be no keeper left. Shoot some birds with crossbow. Surely they land on the wall. Just forage for nuts and berries. And how about I go with you? I take the trophies, you get meat for roasting. But gobs and trolls can smell the burning fat. Roasting is the opposite of what I should do. Good point. You could shoot some birds. With your crossbow, surely they land on this wall. I'm not much of a shot, really. He scratches his right arm. I'd rather save my arrows for all the beasts and stuff. Just full of excuses, aren't you? I'll give you some quarrels. They'll fix your problem for longer. Aye. His eyes widen, but his lips form an annoyed grimace. He spits on the ground and sighs. Shit, Warden, forget it. I'll find out on my own. Listen, I don't have food. I'm offering what I can. Hopefully you can offer me some answers. I'm looking for the previous Roadwarden. That's nice, but he hasn't been here in many days. You sure he's not dead? After you admit that he very much may be, he puts a hand on his waist. Well, better get ready to slit open every dragon belly in the wilds. Okay, well, did he often travel through the woods? Sure, through a different mount. He had a saurian, 4 ibexes long, 2 ibexes tall. Measure everything in ibexes. It moves on 4 legs and jumps high and far. It's dark green, like rotting leaves. At one time, I was taking a piss in the shrubs, and Asterion made the beast run up the rock face, and it jumped on that. He points at the hill, and they ran above the wall, and landed on the other side, just like that. He snaps his fingers, his voice and his eyes gain new vigor. Huh. So the saurian is large and green. I mean, not everywhere. He points at his eyebrows. He has red scales here, and on the tail and shoulders, I think. I don't know what to call it. You ask him for a bit about Asterion, and he has little to add. There used to be 6 of us, keepers. Saw him every now and then, but not that often. Okay, so you guys used to switch shifts, I'm guessing. Can you tell me about the road behind the gate? Oh, not much. His chuckles turn to a cough. It leads through lowlands. Mostly woods and some ponds. It's dark and lethal. He mentions tales of ghosts, dragons, fogs, and blood mages. But whenever you ask about any creature in particular, his response is vague and brief. The tribes abandoned this path. Ever since the war, the tribe has been slow. People refuse to patrol it. The plants are getting taller, but for at least a few more seasons, it's still a shortcut. It's good that you have a mount. If aught chases you, always stay close to the paths and ride as far as you can. Okay, well, what's it like to live in Old Pagos? Wait, no, actually, yeah, if no one uses this road, why are you here? Not no one. So people hunt for monsters, and every few days, I have to open it for reasons. Yeah, what are those reasons? I might as well ask about Old Pagos. He opens his mouth, giving you a puzzled look, then lets out a weak chuckle. What am I to say? We've got rocks. Taps the wall and make houses, bowls, tools. We sell them too. We grow oats, broad beans, ibexes give us wool, skins for monks. What do you call it? The one you ride on. He moves on when you mention parchment. Yeah, it's a good place. Beautiful, old. Hill. That's Pagos means. Old hill. When you bring up the monastery, his eyes get brighter. Good people. They came here on a mission, teaching us Wright's book. My grandparents were pagans, you know. But we now follow the river of truth. We keep to ourselves, but help others when they need us. Oh. Good, you knights. Right, about the bandits. Has any bandits been bothering you? Scratches the bandage on his cheek. Oh no, there's one band somewhere, but not around. I never saw him. You hesitated. You're afraid. But why are you afraid? He straightens up and gives you a long look. I don't know who you're talking about. Alright, fine. Play it that way. Well, I won't bother you for long. But seriously, you're tempting the forest. You need to seek shelter. Nah. He waves it off with a smile, but once he speaks, his voice cracks. And where would I go, anyway? While Hallows Dell has more supplies than you could eat in a year, Pell the North has plenty of space. And they would take a finger from me for each bite. I hardly got any dragons. Gives you a long look. I could spend some time with Pelt's crew again. Their place is cheaper, but forget it, I can't afford even that. Unless they're looking for a pair of hands, I better stay here. So the thing that stops you from going to Pelt right away is dragon modes? You used to roll with them? I mean, that's a pretty big thing. In the North, everyone looks after themselves. Hunters may be my friends, but I won't beg them for help. Well, bring you up to the innkeeper. Let's return to this later. Looks around, startled by a bird. You get startled by birds, what's you doing here? Okay. You know, that's fine. Have fun with your birds. I still got time to explore, so I'm gonna do just that. Some parts of the road lead uphill, some downhill. The forests are lush, but not too dark. A few foraging deer and boars keeping their distance, and the birds are disinterested in your presence, singing cheerfully and preening their feathers. Sounds of an ongoing hunt reach you from the east, but none of the nearby creatures seem bothered. Once you get further north, the colorful meadow reveals tall hills on the other side of the stream. The road leads through a valley. There's a gentle plume of smoke coming from one of the mountains in the west. Doesn't look like a place on fire. It is a settlement in the mountains. The road leads to a gentle creek, filled with buzzing of flies, mosquitoes, and gnats. You don't spot any critters among the tall meadows, tree branches, or rocky slopes, seeing the shapeless dark vortex of wings and gentle snorts, currently on the southern bank. Do I have a torch? I'll be here. Bone needles, thread, iron knife, blade sharpener, tinderbox, a couple of tallow candles. Just have candles. Bunch of rags used to make torches. Look for a different route. Take some time, but I'll wrap myself up with every piece of clothing I own. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Takes you longer than you would hope for, but you manage to cover yourself with an armor of at least 3 layers of linen, leather, wool, and hemp. Only your eyes and a single finger remain without cover. Once you get close to the ford, countless creatures beset you, making you instantly shut your eyes. They're striking the clothes, covering your open mouth, and hitting your shell like a squishy buzzing hail. You ride forward blindingly, trying to get out of here as fast as you can, but the insects stick with you for another few minutes. The red marks on your fingers start to burn slowly. Magenta swishes its tail angrily as it turns its head to its left, observing you with only one reproachful eye, pinning its ears back. You look around to make sure nothing will try to jump on you, and once you decide you're safe, you take off the suit. Unless you find an easier way to protect yourself, the insects will keep slowing you down. At least they kept my blood. Okay. Oh, damn. What's beyond? For most of the time, you're surrounded by yellow meadows. The trees on your left get sparser, while the few lonely birches on your right still bear the signs of tapping, marked with knife cuts, tied with cords. Some of them still carry wooden vessels, as if they were simply abandoned, maybe last spring, maybe before that. A few of the trees are already dried out, and the winds manage to knock them down. As you get closer to the crossroads, the ground gets muddy. The beaten path avoids the wetlands as much as it can. The screeches and hisses mix with the buzzing of insects, and as you reach a small pond, there are signs of blood on its bank. The air is moist and heavy, and has a hint of rotting meat to it. Someone's burning undead. It may still be early, but it's better to avoid the bogs when nighttime approaches. Such places rarely find roads. Bogs are darker than forests. The local creatures start their hunt up to an hour earlier. Damn. The trees and brushes are sparse here. growing from the barren grassland. Some of them bear late summer fruits. A group of wayfarers is spread around a broken signpost and the abandoned cart. They're skinny but healthy. They're standing upright. They're wearing humble, dim gambesons on top of their hemp tunics and pants, all of them worn, in some cases undyed, while others are dark green or brown. 4 of these individuals wear cloaks and are armed with spears, bows, and stone maces. On their necks, wrists, and belts you spot small talismans, fangs, bones, wooden beads, leather straps. These pagans. There's also the 5th figure standing a bit in the back, with lowered shoulders, and like the others, they're hooded, and in such a manner that you doubt they can see anything other than their boots. Their clothes are shabby, torn, but your eyes mostly run to their club. A bow, as long as its owner, is tall and as thick as the leg, resting with one end on the ground. You get closer, and the person raises the weapon with just one arm, but another traveler gestures for them to stop, and they do so right away, freezing in place. Alright, we'll stay in the saddle just in case. The man behind the jester doesn't approach you, just nods. Safe travels, friend. To may still be time before they even fall. Bar bogs aren't safe. Better keep moving. You'll find it then. Try to digest his thick accent. He's broad-shouldered with a large belly. The scars on his face sculpt an image of someone who's earned their share of food with many skirmishes. He doesn't reach for his weapon and pushes one of his companions closer to the cart. She kneels by an empty box and looks inside it, and observes you with little curiosity. Not the cart. Need any help? Nice place for a camp. There's a bit smelly though. Greetings. Look at the gigantic club. Hold your weapons close if it makes you feel safer. I showed him my own blade. I don't mind. Not in this state, I don't. I'm just glad you're not highwaymen. How about I asked him if you need any help? What are Roadwardens for, after all? He makes an annoyed grimace. Not really. This timber's sickening moldy and wet. We're checking on the place, but seems to bad a ear for it. He looks at his companions, who simply shrug and spread to take a look at the cart. All but one with the bow. It doesn't move an inch. Can't I say I have time to loaf? You've questions, ask, but big quick. Don't put us to sleep. Alright, I'm guessing you're from around here? Very much so. And you all knew these roads? You know our home. Maybe? Is it White Marshes? Straightens up. True! There's there. He looks at the crossroads leading east. I thought it's already forgotten, but you've a clean ear. Okay, well, how can I reach White Marshes? It's not hard. If you have bones or food with you, ride down the road, turns a left, take a gift to Cyrus, the warden of our peat fields. He'll open the creepers for you. Seeing your look, he carries on. They're on the right path. On that, I'll take you to the village. Okay, right down the road. Directions to White Marshes from north of Crossroads. Down the path. Take a left. Give a gift to who? Cyrus. To Tyrus? Tie something. Tyruses. No, I'll figure it out. Anything dangerous here and there? Anything dangerous in between? Water-hide sirens. Won't let your horse drink. Just stay on the road all the time. One of the women chips in. And don't follow voices or lights, or weird beasts lure humans into death. And don't touch the creepers. Okay, Well, I'm looking for a place to trade. Is it safe to assume they'd be open to that? We don't welcome any travelers, nor hope to see more of them, especially adventurers. And we need all the lumber we cut. He frowns. We've hubs, I guess. What can you bring? You need a food? Animal trophies, iron, maybe some copper, weapons, odds and intricate herbs. No, I definitely have a fish trap. Tends to yawn. We're doing fine. Used to counting on ourselves, at least, since he thinks for a moment, then sighs. We've most for what we need for out of the iron, steel, bronze. Bring those and we'll welcome you. Okay. You get that from the scavenger. Is this your cart? In a way. My neighbors. You then hear one of the women proudly claiming that it belongs to her uncle. The man doesn't allow you to dig into the topic. We used to carry wood and plants from here to the village, but eventually there was not a thing to carry, and it was left to another day. It's just trash now. Okay. You're gonna leave it here as it is? Raises his eyebrows and scoffs. Of course, for termites and mushrooms, and we'll eat them when we get hungry. Nothing goes to waste. He then scratches out and gets close to the signpost using his spear as a walking stick. Well, stay safe, stranger. He raises his voice and addresses his companions. We've wasted too much time on this front. Time to get back. The others prepare their own weapons and join their guide. One with the bow stays silent until a gentle gesture commands them to follow. They keep up with the rest of the group, dragging the club behind them with remarkable strength. Well, I guess I could spend a few minutes foraging for wild plants around here. Most of what you find are large apples, not as sour as the wild ones, and some wild strawberries. Picking them takes little effort. The short meadows hides something more dangerous than rats, rabbits, mice, and grasshoppers. With the help of your mount, you can reach the higher branches. Pack them into nets and bags. Wild plants. Foraging is an essential labor in the villages of the north, lethally dangerous in the wilderness, but more of a routine in the forest gardens. Though never completely safe. It's done in groups and only by adults. Wild fruits, including grapes, apples, pears, and plums, are smaller and more sour than the ones cultivated by farmers and tend to have larger seeds. Children from a very young age are taught how to identify poisonous berries. Vegetables usually take some cooking, or at least cutting and cleaning. Carrots, fennels, cabbages, onions, sorrels, and lettuce are just some of the ones that can be eaten raw, though they feel either too bland or too intense to be joined by themselves. Okay, increase my nourishment by 1. Is it down the road? Or this way, or this way? Still got 6 hours. Huh. Well, I'll have a dragon coin. Although I guess there isn't a heads or a tail, so flipping it wouldn't help. Okay. Let's go this way, I guess. You're not used to the scent of the bogs, but you weren't expecting them to be so gentle. The humid air makes you think of smoked meat, and even though you ride by a few rotting carcasses and animal droppings, just often as you cross tiny meadows of pink, yellow, and red flowers. The noises tell stories of never-ending wars between the swarms of insects, frogs in their hideouts, snakes lurking among the purple grasses, birds patrolling both the water and the sky, and the saurians preparing to strike from beneath the surface. You can't separate the sounds of the living from those of the dying. They're even different at all. You reach Boulder in the middle of the road. On the edge of the large pond, the road splits from here in 2 directions. The only smoke you see is to the southeast. In the saddle, I see no creatures standing in my way. Southeast, huh? Wetlands. Dangerous an hour earlier. What about this way? It's not southeast, just south. The leafless plants resemble tree roots rather than creepers, even though they're dark green and sway from side to side slightly. The junta stops without a command, unwilling to approach the nightmarish gate. There's no other path in sight. Leafless plants, those might be tree ants. Approach the creepers with a drawn axe. Pick up some branches and throw them at the creepers. Let's see if they react. You step among the muds and grasses, but some desperate creatures scrap this land clean of any wood they could eat. Takes you a few moments before you find any that doesn't fall apart under your touch. Once it hits the creepers, they bend backwards swiftly, then try to reach you with a loud swish. Getting a little bit longer as they repeat this attempt a few times. You tell your mouth to step away, but the plants don't chase after you. I knew it. Tree ants. Alright. How's the water? The dirty ponds are hard to see through. It takes a few minutes before you find a stick long enough to poke the water and reach its bottom. Even at the very bank, the water's as deep as your palfrey's tall. It's quite possible that none of these conveniently spread paths appeared here on their own. Could be that the locals carried much of their soil by themselves, connecting the deeper bogs with the other parts of the peninsula. Before you have time to dwell on it, you jump back, dodging the strike of a green saurian. Run away so quickly that it gives up its pursuit. Fortunately, I can't seem to tame it. Can't cross the keepers on my own. Well, out of direction it is. The roads take you to the edge of the woods. A few trees have some lucky scraps of soil towering above the water, while others, shorter and not as lush, have roots sunk in the pond. Some of the plants were filled with tools, so the route itself isn't so dark, while the few sunbeams getting through the weaker branches on your left are surrounded by darkness and swarm of insects. Help me! Help! The sudden cry as screams of pain reaches you from between the trees. A woman or a child. Oh, crap. Try to spot anyone. Among the green or red leaves, you don't see any unusual colors. Come to think of it, there's but a few creatures in sight other than the flies and mosquitoes. Dark-winged birds are quiet, the sparse toads let out a sporadic, tense croaks. It may be a trap. This is my job. Alright. Dismount, grab my axe. Moving toward the pond. It's cleaner than in the other parts of the bog, allowing you to see the bottom. Parts of it are still more than knee-deep, and the sulfuric odor makes you step away from with a frown. The brownish color can't hide all the bones and plants remains that are sticking out of the band. Maybe a good moment to open my bag and drink a healing potion. Alright, fine. You vaguely recognize some of the local fruity tastes. There's a sort of unpleasant bitterness to it. Maybe wormwood, and every sip makes it even more strange and disgusting. Ecstatic warmth fills your limbs, and you can't help but smile for a moment. Better not be a trap. Should I take off everything below my waist? Then someone might be able to take it. I'll just rush into the water. It gets slower with every step as your pants and boots are soaked in water and mud. The cold water makes you shiver, and the sulfuric odor makes you glance at the animal bones sticking out of the pond bend. The voice doesn't stop. You gather your bravery and move forward, disturbing the sediment so much that it forms a cloud of mud after every step. You run into the trees. Okay. Look at the tree crowns. You move deeper in, but your clothes turn every step into a struggle. You don't spot anything peculiar among the branches until your eyes land on an unusual gray bird, which seems to open its beak just at the same time as you hear a painful shout. A dark shape is descending towards you from the very same tree. Okay. Well, we jump away. The beast's pounce misses you. A dark, furry creature gracefully lands in the water, partially turning around midair, but as it growls, doesn't charge at you yet. Maybe not expecting your swift reaction, still moving, keeping my distance, take a look at it. The cat's legs are bent, ready to jump, wild and muscular, its eyes staring at you without a blink. round and yellow, with pitch black irises in the center. It's waist high, with its chin hanging just above the water, and a jaw that could bite off your limb in a heartbeat. It has short hair and whiskers, and a nose as big as your hand. Even without dirt, it's almost black, with glimpses of yellow that form a rose-like pattern on its sides and dots on its head. You can't see the creature's paws through the now clouded water. The cat lets out a growl, like a saw cutting a log. It's unscathed, confident. The old man did warn me about the cats, but it's too late now. I can't really worry about the human voice. I'm not terrible about this cat. I take a defensive stance. When you hear the flapping of wings, it's already too late. Burnt talons sink into your shoulder, and once you get distracted, the cat darts forward, reaching for your thighs. You evade its first strike, but it pushes your stomach in with its huge paw, cutting through the armor. Before you can reach it with your blade, it's already out of your range. Your gambeson keeps you one piece. The gray bird also flies away, now circling around you, gracefully avoiding the tree trunks and branches. It has a red tail and a short, curved, vulture-like beak. It growls just like the cat did a moment ago, and you notice that the human screams have disappeared. Maybe this was a trap, but it was a trap put by these beasts? So it's 2 against 1. The cat looks into your eyes, then roars. As it moves forward, you don't see any wounds on its shell. Its companion circles around you, looking for an opportunity to attack from above. Caroline my Gambeson's current state. Try to stay safe, looking for an opportunity to make a precise strike. Keep the beast at distance, playing for time. I run away, I attack the bird. Cutting that bird should be easy enough. You wait for the bird to dive at you, and take a swing, using your time to get further away from the cat. Blade sends halves of the raven-sized creatures into the water to the enjoyment of the local scavengers. A few gray and red feathers are drifting next to you. Alright. Time for the cat. I raise the axe and look at the cat. The cat roars towards its dead companion, and looks into your eyes. As it moves forward, you don't see any wounds on its shell. Time to add some. Try to stay safe, looking for an opportunity to make a precise strike. Do your best to evade the cat's attack, then strike it as it charges at you. Somehow avoid its claws and teeth, and your sharp axe gets into the beast's neck. Get away from it quickly, then prepare for the next clash. The cat's roar towards its dead companion, then looks to your eyes. It moves forward slowly, blood mixes with the cloud of dirt. Again, let's do it. You do your best to evade the cat's attack, then strike it as it charges you, but your attempt fails, even though you almost land a hit. The beast manages to reach your stomach with its claws, slashing through your armor, while your sharp axe sinks into its beast's neck. You're bleeding. Your Gameson is already in such bad shape that it makes little difference. Struggling, I push it away with my axe, then prepare for the next clash. The cat looks at its dead companion. Without a second thought, leaps away, then partially swims, crossing the pond with a speed matching your palfrey's gap. Consider following it, but after it reaches a tree crown with just 2 jumps, then gets to another one with a single breath, you wipe your forehead and turn away. Gasping, wet and frustrated, you hobble back to the beaten path. Magenta seems worried, and you try to ease its soul with a few encouraging words, hoping it will leave you alone for a minute. I'm sorry, Magenta, I just need a break. I'm not doing so hot, and whoever was screaming is probably dead. Consider washing your clothes, but you need a wash tub for it, if not a stream. Put on as many dry clothes as you can, fine, hoping your wet boots won't give you a cold. Well, I did my best. Oh, what time is it? Still got 5 hours. Unfortunate thing is, only got 1 coin. That's not gonna be enough to rest. Or at least get a good night's rest. Man, I could sure use one.